My name is John Cowan. I'm proud to be your mayor of the great city of Brownsville. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. It's great to see so many engaged community members, stakeholders, and partners here to support the future of downtown Brownsville. I want to give a special thanks to BCIC, our great city staff, and Friesen Nichols for setting up this kickoff event here today. Downtown Brownsville is in the middle of a powerful transformation. We've seen an incredible wave of activity, new small businesses, a vibrant cultural scene, and substantial public and private investment. The city has already committed millions in public infrastructure, from water and wastewater upgrades to broadband expansion and historic preservation. Projects like the El Jardín Affordable Housing Development, which should open up later this year, the new Midi Cultural Center, which we just did the announcement this past week, the Zoo Master Plan, the Cannery, UTRGV's Performing Arts Center at the Majestic Theater, and all the water and wastewater upgrades are just the beginning. With this activity, it's clear people are choosing downtown again. So why a master plan is needed? With all this growth and momentum, we have a responsibility to make sure we're not just reacting. We must plan intentionally. The Downtown Renaissance Master Plan will serve as our roadmap for the next decade, helping us prioritize investments, preserve our historic character, and ensure inclusive, community-driven growth. This is not just about buildings or infrastructure. It's about people, place, and purpose, ensuring our downtown remains the heart of Brownsville. At the heart of this plan is our community. Public engagement is not a checkbox. It's the foundation of this effort. So over the next year, there will be lots of public workshops, surveys, pop-up events, and stakeholder meetings. These will be opportunities to give feedback, both online and in person. Interactive ways to shape decisions on housing, mobility, culture, and more. So we want to hear from everyone, from longtime residents, new families, business owners, artists, students, and more. Your lived experiences, ideas, and dreams for downtown will directly influence the plan's recommendations. Whether you want safer streets, updates to downtown's physical environment, or more places to gather, we want to know. This plan is a community-driven vision for cleaner, safer, more connected, and a more inclusive downtown. It's about creating a place where families come to play, entrepreneurs come to build, and visitors come to experience Brownsville's culture and history. So our downtown should reflect who we are and where we're going as a city. So in closing, today's kickoff is the beginning of a collaborative journey. We invite every resident, business owner, and stakeholder to participate, share your vision, and help us shape downtown Brownsville that is resilient, vibrant, and inclusive. So with that, I'd like now to introduce someone who's been a very key partner in this effort, our CEO of the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, Corey Pitt. I'm sorry. Corey's not good. With Nathan Burkhardt to speak.
Thank you, man. I am Nathan Burkhardt, Vice President of BCIC. Unfortunately, our CEO, Corey Benya, wasn't able to be here. But today is a really, really exciting day. I know a lot of you in this room know this, but just going to say it again. This is the second most historic city in Texas. This is the largest historic district in the country, one of the largest historic districts in the country. Just out here to these windows is a beautiful border brick building of our founder, Charles Stillman, who created Brownsville. And from that, in the 1800s, all of downtown Brownsville came to be. And it's really exciting for us to now have this beautiful downtown Renaissance master plan in partnership with the City of Brownsville. And I'm very excited to be here for that. When we created the eBridge Center, we really specifically chose downtown Brownsville because we wanted to be a part of the growing ecosystem here. BCIC really has two main focuses: entrepreneurs and small businesses, as well as quality of life projects. But when it comes to downtown revitalization, it's a beautiful marriage of both. Since 2019, our Big Grant program has invested $4 million of our own BCIC funding, but it's also promoted over 50 projects, created $15 million of private investment, and 200 jobs right here in downtown Brownsville. So we're really, really excited about that. So special thanks again to the mayor, city commission, our BCSC board of directors who've been really focused on revitalizing downtown since 2019 and even before. Everyone likes to point out the Better Block project that happened. Anybody know when it happened? I don't know. It was like 2007, 2008. It's been a really hard and long process, but our downtown's worth it. So thank you all for being here. Thank you again to the city for hosting this event here with eBridge, and we're really excited to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dodo Garcia. I'm one of the assistant city managers with the City of Brownsville.
Good night.
And today I want to talk to you a little bit about why, right? You know, I wanted to start a little bit with the history of Brownsville, but there's many faces here that I see that can talk a lot more about the history of downtown Brownsville than I can. But I'll talk about my short 20 years of history in downtown, right? You know, I remember growing up here in Brownsville, you know, very nice retail area, coming downtown often with my family to come shopping, drop off my aunt. I remember dropping her off often to come work here, and just seeing how downtown Brownsville has transitioned, right? And one of the times that I remember downtown, just when it was being in its down stages, right? When we had all these Ropa Sada businesses down here, it was really interesting, right? To see, you look back and see how that shaped many of our buildings and how many of our buildings deteriorated during that time period. And now seeing where we've come today and how downtown, there's been so many people that have come over the life of Brownsville to push downtown and the growth of downtown, and having this opportunity today to participate in this study, in this exercise, that your input you never know where it's gonna lead. I can tell you in my last 10 years here, seeing the transition of downtown and the issues that we have with downtown. For those of you who don't know my background, most of it has been in the engineering and the construction side, or the infrastructure side for the city. And one of the biggest complaints we received was when new restaurants would open, is like, Dodo, how do I get rid of the foul smell? What can we do about it? And, you know, it was aging infrastructure, right? Now, as you drive to downtown today, there's so much construction going on. Well, we're upgrading the infrastructure, right? We're upgrading the sanitary sewer lines so that these new businesses, when they open up, don't have to deal with those issues. I remember when we did Market Square and we replaced the utility lines in that area. I mean, the gratitude we received from the businesses afterwards was just overwhelming. I mean, it was really, really nice to see what came afterwards, the opportunities that we opened up by investing in that infrastructure. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen once we complete this project that's currently ongoing, because the project that's currently ongoing covers probably about from St. Charles all the way to Adams, between 6th and International. All of the sanitary sewer lines in this area will eventually be replaced, you know, giving us the opportunity for the discussions that we have today and the plans that we have to move forward of our downtown will be materialized, and you won't have to worry about those issues anymore. So we're really looking forward to complete that. The other thing that's important on your input is that every single one of you can make a difference. I can tell you in my time of this will be maybe not a downtown master plan, but participating in other master plans, that you never know the direction we're going to take, because along the way, somebody may come that just makes an impact or has this one great idea, and it really changes our path. I think, you know, downtown, I remember at one time they wanted to have a bar scene similar to Austin, and then we realized that wasn't what downtown was about. And now we have a great restaurant scene that's really made it different, right? We do have some bars, but it's a mix of things, right? And this is that opportunity to help us bridge together. Another item that somebody brought to me that I think is important is the engagement and sharing with your friends, the collaboration. You know, across the valley, we've seen how we've come closer with our MPO and work together with our cities in the valley. That's a practice that we didn't have in the past. You know, a lot of the times in the past, we were tended to, this is mine, this is my area, and we don't want anybody here. Now we're seeing a lot of the collaborative efforts. So I encourage you to share this, study, share this master plan opportunity that we have with your friends, your family, our sister cities in the Valley, so that they can share their input and how we can grow better together. In addition to that, I want to touch a little bit of some of the upcoming projects that we have in Brownsville or downtown Brownsville that'll be really helpful. We were surprised earlier this week by TxDOT that they have some surplus funding. As you all know, they've seen the construction going on the expressway that they're working on. They'll be working on Washington Street from 14th to 9th Street. That construction will start on Monday. Sorry for the short notice, but quick notice, it's going to get paved. So once again, those infrastructure improvements will help carry on the great work. Thank you all for being here today. I'm really impressed by the number of people that we have interested, and I look forward to your participation throughout this master plan. Thank you.
I feel like I have nothing else to talk about now. So for everybody who doesn't know, my name is Alan Garces. I'm the downtown manager for the City of Brownsville. Brownsville born and raised, and it's such an honor to work for my city. I started as a senior planner and eventually moved into this downtown manager role a couple years ago. So it's nice to see some of y'all be here today, and new faces, old faces, some faces that I just don't know, but I'm excited to get to know everybody and work with y'all as we get forward into this downtown master plan process. I think one of the key things that Gordo, along with the mayor, is mentioning that this is going to be a community-driven plan, right? We want to hear from the public, whether they're a business owner, a property owner, just the general Brownsville resident. We need to hear from y'all. We want to know what their priorities are, and we need to move forward with that. So a couple of things that I'm going to be talking about today are some of the projects that some of the staff and myself have been working on in the downtown area. With key stakeholders, and I want to share a little bit about some of the activity that's happening in the downtown Brownsville and why we need the downtown master plan, right? We got to get that growth going. I mean, it needs to be both feasible, it needs to be intentional, as the mayor said. So just really want to share some pictures of some of the activities I mentioned. Feel free to look at those, enjoy what's happening. One of the things that I wanted to mention was the Viticulture District, as the mayor mentioned not too long ago, about how they're transforming the former Brownsville Museum of Fine Arts building into a culture center. We also have the cannery that's going to go online fairly soon. The middle picture there on the bottom is the visual arts complex from UTRGV. That's the former Longoria Elementary, and that's about less than a mile away from the UTRGV campus here downtown. So, and of course, the Zoo Master Plan already finished. One of the first priority projects was the zip line, and that's already online. You see people riding that as you're going and passing through the downtown area. You can see them actually wagging down there at the Glasgow Reservoir. So if you guys haven't done that yet, I encourage you guys to check that out. I quickly will also say, this is called the Downtown Renaissance Master Plan. I think that was called intentionally because of the activity that's happening. So in the next few slides, we'll see the title say Downtown is a greatest even Downtown Master Plan, Renaissance, because of the activity that we've been seeing. And we're actually capitalizing on that because of the activity, whether you see the water wastewater projects, you see the scaffolding on the historic buildings that some of the property owners, the business owners are fixing up and revitalizing. We've seen a lot of activity happening, whether it's Westwood, who's been here for a minute, or you have new establishments like Dawn or La Red in the downtown area. I mean, guys, this is some of the activity, and obviously BCSC has helped us tremendously out of this, but you can see the growth that's happening in downtown. You can walk through it. You can hear it, right? You feel that. You see the scaffolding, as I mentioned, the streets being opened up. So we want to capitalize on that, as I mentioned. Shout out to the Rambas, back-to-back years, James Beard Award nominees. I mean, that's coming out of downtown Brownsville with us. It's exciting. I also want to give a shout out to JZD, their retail, and they print their own materials here in downtown along 10th and Washington, who actually scored the deal with Brooks Running. So they had a collaboration. That's, again, coming out of downtown Brownsville. This is our community. This is our own people doing amazing things, and it's coming out of downtown Brownsville. We have mixed uses. This is the densest area in the city. For those who are not familiar with mixed uses, where we have, whether it's commercial, retail, or any of those types of general uses that are in commercial, you have those in the ground floor. When you have people living on the second floor, we want to expand on that. You need to make that happen. in order to have more people in downtown to continue that growth. So again, if you guys haven't checked out some of these places, I encourage you to do so. If you guys need recommendations, just give me a call, tap me on the shoulder, say, hey, where do I go? I'm pretty sure I can get you to the right spot. One of the key things that recently started, pick back up, I should say, because in 2019, business owners in the downtown area started First Friday. This was a bootstrap initiative that they started. They obviously COVID hit, right? Kind of put it the dapper on some beams. But once they started back up, the city knew that there was potential there. They worked together with business owners to get that going. And every First Friday of the month, you bring about 2,800 to about 3,700 people in the downtown area. So just to promote the downtown, promote our local artists, promote other people to come to downtown and see what downtown has to offer. Now, we want to expand on First Friday. We're looking at other options to activate other areas. For the most part, we are having things at Market Square. As a matter of fact, tonight we'll be there promoting our downtown master plan. We're going to be asking for input from the community. We'll be there. Staff and I will be there, making sure that their voices are heard. So if you haven't gone to First Friday, make sure you go there tonight. Swing by our tables, say hi, and support local businesses, please. Quickly wanted to touch on some of the private-public partnerships that we've had. As the mayor mentioned earlier as well, the Majestic Theater that UTRGV is going to transform into the Performing Arts Center here in downtown Brownsville. It's approximately about an $80 million renovation project because it's not just the Majestic. If you guys are familiar with the building, it just expands it a little bit further to the side of the picture there. At Harleen, we actually just toured it not too long ago. That's a renovation, guys, that's about going to house 44 units of residential living. And as I can tell you, it's amazing what they've been doing there. Kudos to Godland and her team at the Housing Authority. They actually have mentioned to us they're looking to have their first vandalized building in September. So if you guys haven't swung by and checked out the cars that they've got, it's incredible. Very exciting to have more people living in downtown Brownsville, right? So we have residential, we have office uses, we have government, we have retail uses. There's something here for everybody, guys. So, and we also have the Seminole building, which is up on a CDCB, which was also residential living that they're going to be renovating there and have a market for us. Again, big C's. Some of the city projects that we were working on as well, I talked on the Aqua wastewater project, and that's just been a blast. It's been so fun to work on that. But we also have the Downtown Master Plan that we're discussing here today, the First Friday, and other projects like the new parking stations that we recently installed a couple of years ago, along with the new downtown circular. For those who aren't familiar with that, it's a shuttle that drives around downtown Brownsville. I know some people might have issues finding parking sometimes. So we basically have been doing our best to maybe work with the community to have that shuttle rotate in downtown Brownsville on the evenings from Thursday to Saturday. So hop on that if you guys are going to be here tonight. And then lastly, one of the things that I did also want to touch upon, something I'm very excited to launch. We've been teaming up with Visit PTX, our CVB department, where we're launching a downtown passport program, again, to bring people downtown and get them moving throughout the downtown, where basically you scan a QR code and you get deals and you eventually earn points and you get free merchandise, assuming you collect all the points that are required for that, right? So the idea is to get people going to downtown, not just to Market Square, but to move all around the area and support all businesses. And it's a pilot program that we're launching today. Now I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Kayla here with the Fraser Necklace team.
Thank you. Thanks. I don't like them. Yeah. All right. So the first org chart that you see here is just talking about some of the folks from the city's perspective that will be working on this project. This is the city's plan. We as consultants are here to kind of facilitate the process and help. But this is truly the city's plan. They are the face of this plan. We can tell you just in the couple short months we've been working on this so far, getting things kind of initiated and up and running, Your city leadership is amazing. The city manager, the mayor being here this morning, the assistant city manager, your planning department, the visitors bureau, the downtown department. There's so many people involved in this that are really, really passionate. I can tell you we don't always see mayors at downtown kickoff meetings. And so the fact that he's here this morning just shows how supportive the city leadership really is of this initiative and this effort. Next, I'll show you kind of how we fit in. So we are consultants. We are Friesen Nichols. We're an engineering, design, and planning firm here located in Texas. I'm in San Marcos, and Lahari with me here today is out of our Austin office. So we'll be acting as project manager and assistant project manager, supported by a large team of designers, planners, engineers, both from Friesen Nichols as well as our sub-consulting groups. TXP is a market economics and analysis group that does a lot of work here in Brownsville and in the Valley. Livable Plans and Codes is another planning group that we're partnering with on this that did the downtown code and zoning redevelopment or rebank here recently. So they have a lot of institutional knowledge. And then LOI is also a planning firm specifically highly experienced in downtown mobility and transportation. So they're going to be supporting us on that piece of the plan. So again, I mentioned that all of our team members have quite a bit of experience here in Brownsville and then the Valley generally. So while we are from other parts of the state, around the state, we do come here often. This is my third week in a row, I think, in the Valley. So we're here a lot. We've done projects in Brownsville, both from the planning side as well as utility. We actually have an office in Harlingen that does a lot of utility work in the Valley. And then planning projects in some of your neighbor cities as well, including McAllen, Harlingen, Farr, and Eagle Pass. So we do a lot of work down here. We're familiar with the area. That being said, and I was saying this to someone earlier too, we really see ourselves here as helping facilitate the process and shepherd the ideas we hear from you guys in the community into ideas and action and tangible things for the plan. So we come in with some of our institutional knowledge from working here. We also come in with our experience and lessons learned from other places, but we don't come in at this point in the process with too many preconceived notions about what we think is going to be in this plan. Right, you heard earlier saying, sometimes these plans take turns that we don't expect. And that's part of this process, is really hearing from you guys first. What are your thoughts, feelings, experiences? And then that's what really drives us moving forward into the process. So that being said, we have some boards on that table as you were coming in. We'd love to have you guys start writing things down on those boards, letting us know what you think, and start getting that feedback. Come see us at First Fridays this evening as well. So just to give you an idea of some of the preliminary project goals and intent that's coming out for this Downtown Renaissance Master Plan. So these are things we've talked with the city staff about, we've talked with the city commission about when we were here last. So these are the kinds of things we're starting to hear come forward as really important for this master plan to address. So you've heard intention a couple times today already this morning. You guys have a lot of things already happening when we come into a downtown plan that we're trying to make happen, that you guys already have happening organically. But getting some more intention, some more organization around those priorities, things that are happening will be a big part of this plan. That kind of goes into this next bullet point of just coordination and clarity around investments. Sometimes things come up, like TxDOT calls you on a Monday and says, we're coming next week to pave a road, and you take advantage of those opportunities. But really, this plan will give the city a roadmap for how to move forward over the next 10, 15 years for investments and projects that they can invest in the downtown area. So again, on that same note, cohesive plan that knits together all these unique parts of downtown. You've got government, you've got the retail, you've got the food and beverage, you've got a lot of cultural amenities. How do we knit those together physically from an experiential standpoint for people who are here so they don't feel disconnected and it feels like it's all part of downtown? Harmonizing new and old. You have a lot of history here. you also have a lot of new things coming. So how do you knit those together without losing that history and that cultural identity that's really important here, but still allowing that growth and those new things to come? Again, I kind of mentioned this, but providing guidance for CIP planning. What are those tangible projects that the city should be looking forward to doing in the downtown area to make this an easier place to do business, an easier place to visit, stay for the day kinds of things? And then promoting historical and cultural preservation and making sure we're not losing that piece in sight of the future, that we're not kind of losing sight of the past as well. So finally, this slide is just talking about some of the things that we look at when we come into a downtown plan. This is a lot of stuff that we're looking at what's happening in the public realm. How are we making the experience for people better as they walk around, drive around, bike around, ride the shuttle around downtown? How are we creating that experience for people? So we want it to be comfortable. So it's clean, it's shady, the materials are well maintained. Maybe there's a parking structure we've heard a little bit about, and compatibility of land uses. It's also safe. So we're minimizing conflicts between pedestrians and bicyclists and the vehicles. We have adequate lighting. This idea of public safety and CPTED, which is crime prevention through environmental design, and that's promoting safety through how we design the environment. So that's lighting, but it's also making sure there aren't nooks in the landscape where people can hide and things like that. So just making the environment feel more safe from an environmental perspective. And then potentially adding bike lanes, again, reducing those conflicts with vehicles. Making sure the area is interesting. So active and unique frontages on your ground floors, nice aesthetics, maybe some public art, and other people. That's really important, right? It's not just about the physical things we're building, but we're building those to bring people and vibrancy to downtown. That's really the end goal here. And finally, purposeful. You can have the nicest sidewalk and streetscape in the world, but if there's not a place to go to on that sidewalk, then you're not going to use the sidewalk, right? So making sure there's a variety of destinations that people are going to. You heard about the passport program, trying to get people to move around to different parts of downtown. And then especially from the city side, events and activation of public spaces. So things like First Friday that are getting people to come downtown, maybe for this event, experience downtown, see what's here, and then continue to come back over and over again. So those are all the things we come into this kind of thinking about. Again, we want to hear your thoughts and feelings. What should we add to this list? What should we be thinking about from you guys who are here and experiencing, living, working in downtown Brownsville every day?